Wakristo wapenzi, ni Jumapili ya 13 ya mwaka wa kanisa. Our theme today, God before everything else. You are a chosen race, a loyal priesthood, a holy nation. Announce the praise of God who called you out of darkness into the world of light. One day, a boy asked his father, "Dad, what is the size of God?" His father, in his response, he said, he looked up at the sky and saw a plane and asked his son, "What is the size of that plane?" The boy replied, "It is very small. I can't hardly see it." Then the father took him to the airport, and as they approached the airport, he asked, "Now, my son, how big is this plane?" The boy replied, "Wow, Dad, it is huge." Then the father told him, "God's size depends on how close you are or how far you are to him. The closer you are to him, the greater and greater you will be in your life." That is the truth. Your intimacy will show you the greatness of God. May God's greatness cover our lives and family as we draw closer to him. One Sunday morning, during Mass, a man found himself confused. During the offertory, he remembered that he had not decided what to offer to God. In his wallet was 1,000 shillings note, a 500 shillings note, and 100 shillings note. And therefore he chose to give only 100 shillings note, since he could not sacrifice his friends or any other eventuality. Soon after his action, questions started filling in his mind. He realized Christ's message that a disciple of Jesus must value God more than anyone's parents. The question is, was he a true disciple of Christ? He asked himself again and again. The same question is being asked to us today. Being a true disciple means sacrifice. It means having God before everything else. The question, am I a true disciple of Jesus? Do I have God before all else in my life? So my dear brothers and sisters, this being the 13th Sunday, the common theme is the work of God that gives us and whatever we are supposed to do as followers of Jesus, to love God, our brothers and sisters, through the hospitality, generosity, commitment, and charity. The readings remind us of the sacrifice demanded by Jesus' disciples and the suffering they will endure for their faith when they bear witness to him. In our first reading, we see a great welcome given to Prophet Elijah by the elderly, childless woman and her husband who lived in Sunem. The woman recognized the holiness of Elijah. She showed his reverence and hospitality by inviting him to dine with her and her husband, and by arranging an upper room in the house so that Elijah might stay with them when he visited the area. Elijah promised her, "This time next year, you'll be fostering a baby son." The promise was fulfilled by God. The second reading, taken from Paul's letter to the Romans, explains why those who care for the followers of Jesus are caring for Jesus himself. And those who show hospitality to any one of them are eligible for a reward. By our baptism, we have been baptized into Jesus' death and buried with him, and we look forward to the resurrection with him. Romans chapter 6, verses 55. Since baptism is our entry into this new life, it makes us part of the body of Christ, and Christ is truly present in us. That is why the one who welcomes us welcomes Christ and becomes eligible for this reward. Today's gospel lesson concludes Jesus' great missionary discourse in which he instructs his 12 apostles on the cost and the reward of the commitment required of a disciple. The first half of those sayings of Jesus details the behavior expected of his disciples, and the second half speaks of the behavior expected of others towards the disciples. Even Jesus' shameful death on the cross is not to a high price to pay if one is a true disciple, because the reward is great. Jesus assures his disciples, to whoever shows this hospitality will be blessed. Those who receive Jesus, the one also receive the one who sent him. Also those who help the little ones, the poor, the sick, and the needy will be rewarded. We need to be hospitable and generous. Hospitality means acknowledging the presence of God in others and serving him, and especially in whom we expect to find. We as individuals, as a community, we look forward for the opportunities to be hospitable, and of course, there are plenty of ways of offering hospitality. Maybe hospitality is offered through a kind word to the stranger, even a smile through a kind word. A kind smile or a help to someone waiting with us in a grocery line may be the only kindness alive as Christians through the generous giving of ourselves. What is more important than sending checks of charitable works or causes is giving ourselves to the people, first in the way we think about them, for from that spring afro all the ways we speak to them and about them, forgive their failings, encourage them, show them respect, console them, encourage them, and offer them help. Such great generosity reflects warmth radiating from the real love of God. Maneno machache kwa lugha ya Kiswahili. Apedaye baba au mama kuliko mimi anistahili, wala apedaye mwana au binti kuliko mimi anistahili. Kristo kwanza. Yesu apingi mahusiano ya kibiolojia ya binadamu. Anaheshimu, lakini anataka apewe nafasi yake, nafasi ya kwanza. Yesu hana mshindani. Yesu anataka apewe nafasi ya kwanza bila mpinzani. Baba tajiri anaweza kumzuia mtoto wake anayetaka kutoa maisha yake kutumikia Mungu kama mtawa au padri. Kama mapadri ambao wako hapa wanaweza kuwa walikuwa na changamoto wakati walikuwa wakitaka kutumikia Mungu. Wengine pengine they received negative things and negative feelings, and especially from our dear aunts, they are the worst characters ever. But hayo yote, baadhi ya wanafamilia wanaweza kumzuia kijana anayetaka kumtumikia Mungu kuwa padri, na katika mazingira kama hayo Yesu anasema, apedaye baba, mwana au binti kuliko mimi anistahili. Kuna mseminari ambaye alipata upinzani mkubwa kutoka kwa wanafamilia ambao hawakupenda awe padri. Akiwa shemazi alichagua maneno ya kuweka kwenye picha ya ukumbusho. Na kama mtu akiwauliza kwa nini mnamfungua, semeni hivi, Bwana anamhitaji. Shemazi huyo alimpa Yesu Kristo nafasi ya kwanza. Kuna sababu nyingi za kumtanguliza Yesu Kristo katika maisha yetu. Mwana wa Mungu amekuwa binadamu ili kutuwezesha kuwa wana wa Mungu. Huyo anatuwezesha kuwa wana wa Mungu, tumpe nafasi ya kwanza. Yesu kwanza. Yesu Kristo ni njia, ukweli na uzima. Tumpe nafasi ya kwanza. Bila njia hakuna kwenda, bila ukweli hakuna kujua, bila uzima hakuna kuishi, alisema Thomas Ekebish. Yesu Kristo ni mkombozi. Kama hitaji letu kubwa lingekuwa habari, Mungu angetutumia mwandishi wa habari. Kama hitaji letu kubwa lingekuwa teknolojia, Mungu Baba angetutumia mwanasayansi. Kama hitaji letu kubwa lingekuwa pesa, Mungu Baba angetutumia mwana uchumi. Kama hitaji letu kubwa lingekuwa kucheka na raha, Mungu Baba angetutumia mchekeshaji. Lakini hitaji letu kubwa lilikuwa msamaha, ukweli, uzima na njia. Mungu Baba akatutumia mkombozi. Yesu kwanza, kwa sababu ametuita rafiki. Neno rafiki linaondoa kuta na kujenga daraja. Neno rafiki linahamasisha mtu kuondoka na kufanya kitu fulani. Mioyo yetu inaondoka ikiwa na upendo na kukutana na upendo wa Yesu. Jibu la upendo ni upendo. Inahitaji moyo mkuu kuwa rafiki wa mtu. Wakati mwingine lazima usamehe mengi, usahau mengi na uvumilie mengi. Yesu ni rafiki. Yesu tumpe nafasi yake ya kwanza. Hatuna budi kuwa katika Kristo. Uhusiano huu na Bwana wetu Yesu Kristo ni kama hewa iliyopo ndani mwetu na bado tuko kwenye hewa. Kristo yupo ndani yetu na sisi tupo ndani yake. Binadamu tulivyo, tunamhitaji Yesu awe mshauri wetu na mwanga wa kutuongoza. Kwa vile tumekosa na tunakosa, tunamhitaji Yesu atusamehe. Tunapopata changamoto, tunahitaji Yesu atusaidie kukabili changamoto za maisha kwa falsafa yake. Hakuna Jumapili ya Pasaka bila Ijumaa Kuu. Tumsifu Yesu Kristo.